Hi, hello, and welcome to Quantum Healing Hands Tarot. Today is kind of a fun reading. I don't know how to explain it fully, but we're going to find out if you are a grower, shower, or farmer. If you know what I'm talking about, awesome. If you don't, I'll explain it further as we get into the piles. But if you know which pile you want just from looking, go ahead and select the timestamp down below in the description box and I'll meet you there. If you need a little bit more help, let's go ahead and get into some breathing. All right, I like to take 3 deep breaths. All right, so now that we're nice and relaxed, we can go ahead and look at our piles. All right, so in pile 1, we have the Ace of Hearts. In pile 2, we have the Ace of Clubs. And in the third pile, we have the Ace of Spades. So I usually I can kind of be swayed sometimes by preferred cards. So I close my eyes and I ask my intuition which pile to pick. And very commonly I'll see a number in my mind's eye, and that's the pile I know is for me. So if you need a little more time, you can pause it, but my suggestion is just always to go with your intuition. So once you're ready, click the timestamp down below and I'll meet you there. Hi, Pile 1. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, growers, showers, and farmers. These are descriptions I'm using for different personalities. So, the grower is somebody who is always kind of seeking new adventures, new projects, always going. The shower is somebody who's very extroverted, but also very in their mind. Like everything's a mental game of chess. And then the farmer is the person who brings out the best in people. Like that person who comes around and you just feel good and nourished. And so you chose the Ace of Cups, which is the farmer. So it was the Ace of Cups and Ace of Pentacles are both, to me, considerable for the farmer personality. And so I'm really excited to find out. I asked a bunch of questions about this, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first card is, what is the single most important aspect of your life right now? So with the Temperance card coming in, to me that makes a lot of sense because the farmer is somebody who is all about caring for other people and making sure things are going well. And for that to happen, you yourself have to be balanced. And so I could really see if the single most important aspect of your life right now is maintaining balance and moderation, that would come into play with taking care of others and yourself. So it's that balance of like learning that you have to put on your own oxygen mask first. Like your main focus right now is just to stay calm. And so you may be in a really crazy time. There may be a lot going on, but that is outside. That is not what you're dealing with right now. Your main concern is what's right in front of you, because that's all you can handle as an individual is, all you can control is yourself. Like the Temperance reminds me of a farmer in the way that like a farmer is constantly having to go around and make sure everything is balanced and well taken care of, watered properly. Like that is your personality if you are. And so at this point, I think you're really trying to find that beautiful, healthy balance. Because if it's very natural in your heart to provide and take care of for others, it's a very natural cycle to have had to learn how to take care of yourself first. But you're doing that. Everything's bubbling, everything's working. You've been studying. I really feel like you know where you're at right now. And I feel like you've said recently, like, I feel good. I feel good about where I'm at. I feel good about where I'm going. And sorry, my arms keep peeling off the plastic. So the single most important aspect of your life right now is that you're really just trying to bring everything together. You're trying to bring together your work and your talents and your family and your friends, and you're just trying to find a perfect place where everybody's going to exist. Like you really like when things are at peace. But I think I did say temperance is kind of like an in-house card. It's kind of like just taking care of you because you're evaluating a lot of what has happened before. Like, I feel like you very possibly have taken care of people over yourself for a while. And so you're just kind of trying to soak up this time of learning self-care. And so I'm excited. That to me seems like a very well-balanced aspect to have. If you are someone who is constantly looking out for other people, constantly checking the field, constantly, it was a farmer reference, but to me, you are learning the balance. Like, farmers have to have, strict schedules and cycles because they're not just living life for themselves. And, like, for example, like, I'm growing plants right now. Plants, and they they do great outside in the sun, but there's a lot of bugs, and I'm trying to keep my plants not eaten by bugs outside, so I bring them inside. And I realize when I wake up early just to take my plants outside and get morning sun, like, I realize, like, wow, I really care about these plants. So that's kind of what I'm seeing is like but I've only learned, I can only do that now because I have a healthy schedule. I have a balance that it's taken me a really long time to get to. All right, so the next question was, how does being a farmer help you in your day-to-day life? I think as the farmer, as somebody who has learned how, you understand that when you put a seed in the ground, it's not just going to pop up and become the plant that you want it to be right away. Like, 7 of Acorns reverse is like a very impatient card. So that's telling me being this actually helps you from this stuff happening. Because the temperance is about patience. The temperance is all about understanding process. And so that is in your day-to-day life, that small actions add up to who you are. The choices you make every single day is who you become. And I think you really understand that. You don't let one discouraging event take you down. You don't let one plant dies out in the field. You aren't like, oh my God, I'm giving up all the other crops. It's like, you understand that sometimes things aren't going to go right. Sometimes things are going to, falter, but we learn lessons in everything. And I think that's really cool that is what helps you. But next is, what is your biggest challenge as a farmer? So the Two of Wands kind of says, like, you're going to struggle with kind of like future planning. And like, I could see that if you're someone who's like always looking at what's right in front of you, it's going to be really hard to look beyond this crop cycle. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it's important to dream a little bit further. Just dream a little bit further out than, the next 3 months. Like, where do you want to be in 10 years? That is where you're going to need a little bit of growth, and we all need growth somewhere. Looking just a little bit further might lift your spirits a little bit more, because being a farmer is exhausting. I mean, nobody says that that's an easy job. It's not. Yeah, I really see that you're kind of someone who sticks to what you know. And so another challenge will be expanding and doing things that are different. And that's okay. Why do they look very much the same, like in the same kind of position. So let's go a little further now. I asked for some advice. So when this rune comes up reversed, like upright, it already kind of warns you of moderation and not being too obsessed with things. And so it came up reversed. So I'm very curious how you are with your crops, how you are with your farm, how you are with the loved ones in your life, in your job. I'm curious if you're over vigilant, and because this is just saying, like, don't do too much of anything. That's maybe why temperance is the most important aspect of your life right now, because maybe you're learning more about moderation. Maybe you're learning more about patience and all these things. Yeah, I think the last cards are going to help us finish this whole story out. So I asked if you could learn from the either two, what could you learn from the other two? So you got, so it's the Three of Wands. The Wands is that's the grower. And it's the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so that kind of backs it up. Because the Eight of Pentacles here in this position is kind of telling me, like, it's just backing up that kind of like obsession, that like perfectionist, and is a good way to put it. Like, maybe you think it's a super healthy level of participation, but I'm curious if the people around you feel that way. So what you could learn from growers, and I love that it's the Three of Wands, because the Three of Wands is all about planning and foresight, which was saying this was your challenge. So what you could learn from the growers are looking beyond your crop cycle and not being such a perfectionist. Like, dream a little bit bigger. Dream a little bit like about getting out into the city. Like, whatever your big dream is that you kind of have never talked about, like, pull that out. I think that'll help you kind of surprisingly like ground you from this very strong energy of needing to do everything right. And so maybe that's why you've slowed down and you are just kind of needing a little patience and a little time to, like, a respite, I think is the word. And so that's what I'm seeing, is that you are a farmer. You are someone who constantly brings out what is the best in people. You are very aware of the present moment. You're very aware that every action you take is affecting the next day. But what that has caused is a super hyper focus on every day to day. rather than kind of like just relaxing, like take a step back. It's okay. The best part about the crops are they will grow on their own. You do need help. You do need to make sure they're kind of taken care of, but plants are amazing. I love growing plants. Honestly, like I absolutely love flowers and vegetables and fruit. Oh my gosh, like I have fruit growing all around my property right now. And it is such a beautiful time because like I'm discovering I have like a huge raspberry plant next to my house, and I have like blackberries everywhere, of course. But I trust that I'm not the one doing that. That is nature. But I do have foresight. Like, a couple months ago, I made sure I knew the blackberry bushes were just they grow like crazy. I have never seen a more invasive plant that is so delicious. Do you know what I mean? And so I had to have that foresight of like, okay, they're going to be everywhere. Clean this stuff up now and I'll have a more maintained, juicier bush, truthfully. So I think that's the energy you're getting. I think you are a wonderful, fabulous, caring person, but sometimes that energy can be a little strong. And so I like that your energy is all about temperance right now. It's just tempering the energy. Have you ever heard the song The Temperament? Oh my gosh, who's it by? Anyways, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. I just can't think of it. But, it'll come to me, or I'll have to check it out. I'll write the name. But it's just kind of, that song to me represents like taking in a deep breath and just experiencing a moment for, however long that song is. So it's just about slowing down, enjoying life, smelling the roses, and in that, being able to look further. Don't obsess so much of what you got going right now, because I feel like if you've done as good of a job as I feel like you've done, you really could take a step back. Like, chill. You are good. I feel really good. So, pile one, my farmers, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you like this message, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the reading resonated. And if you love it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. I reached 250 subscribers today. I am literally so excited every day I see new subscribers and the comments. Like, I can't tell you how much it means to me that I'm hearing how these readings resonate with you guys, like, and the personal stories of your life. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for being a part of this with me. So I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you in the future. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, growers, showers, and farmers. What I assign these to personality types. So growers are people who are all about looking towards the future and like very action oriented, go, go, go. Showers are very much like outgoing people. Like, I'm here, but it's also very intellectual, like all mental planning kind of personality. And then the farmers are the people who are taking care of people and produce a lot of like creative things. Very, very giving. So you chose the Ace of Clubs, which is the Ace of Wands, and Wands is what I assigned to the growers. Yay! So, as a grower, you are somebody who has full vision of the future. Like, everything you do is going towards a dream that you've possibly had your entire life. Like, I feel like you're somebody who started life knowing how you were going to live it. And so, it's hard, but you're doing it. And I'm so proud of you because this is such a strong energy. Like, growers are somebody who just doesn't give up. And so I'm really proud of you. Let's get started. first card is, what is the single most important aspect of your life right now? Oh my God. I seriously, like, because you having the star as the single most important aspect of your life right now, just up front, like, that hope and dream I was talking about, like, it's never not your focus. What you're going after is never not your focus, which is beautiful because you're not supposed to drop your focus. That is literally, they say, the secret to creating your future is just think about it nonstop. What do you want in your life? Because if you are thinking about that thing, you're not thinking about drama and crap and other shit. Sorry, but you're focused on your goal. I feel like I just heard something about how, like, spiritual practices are kind of things that aren't producing anything in the material world. So it's all internal work. And I feel like that's kind of a dub, but just kind of hearing that was like, oh, just whenever you are reflecting on the inside and what's going on, what caused you to get to this place, like, that's spiritual work. And you've been doing that. You're really getting into it now, at least. Like, I feel like you are elevated. You're looking above. Like I said, you started your life knowing where you were going to go. And so right now you're just kind of in this, like, I feel like you've made the efforts in the physical world. I feel like you know a lot. Like, if those things weren't happening for you, then it's all about stopping and reflecting on why. And that's where you're at right now, of just kind of why, not like, why is this happening to me, but more like, what happened, what steps were taken, what choices were made to get me here. And that's the beauty of a grower energy, is you are always asking those questions. Like, such a strong, powerful energy. Like, if you're getting the star here, like, this is just saying, like, up front, you are lucky. The universe is looking down on you and loving you and sending you so many opportunities. Like, I just hear your door knocking, you know, more likely your emails blipping, but we don't just go up to people's doors anymore. And we don't have everybody's phone number. I digress. You are in such a good progressive place right now. And that is the single most important aspect of your life. I feel like I could go on about that forever, because just these two here, I feel like I see your personality and I like it. Because not only are you a grower, but I think you're learning how to be a farmer. I think you're learning that giving feels really, really good. And you've given to yourself for so long that I think you realize, like, there's some sort of magic power in doing for others that actually, like, projects your dreams. It projects you closer to your dreams. That's what I'm hearing. Next is, how does being a grower help you in your day-to-day life? Oh my gosh, do you see this? I mean, it's not spot on. Oh, I love it. I'm such a silly goose. Oh my God, I love this. This is exactly what I was saying. I'm just reading it right from the little book that they give. If an approach has not been bringing the desired results, change your strategy, be daring, and take the initiative. The cheetah. So your personality, this is what helps you on your day-to-day life. When things aren't working, I don't feel like you just sit down and cross your arms and go, no, it's not happening for me. Like, no, hardly. You are someone who switches up your strategy if it's not working. And when something is working, you go hard at it, because you know any good idea just needs consistency behind it. That's the truth. And you know that. as somebody who is all about the visions and going forward, planning, you're in such a good spot right now. Like day to day, every day of your life, you are in a good spot. That's more puns than I've honestly like ever made in one day. And the universe is on your side. So I'm so happy for you, because if every day is nothing but choices. And so I'm happy that as the grower, you are knowing that your choices are taking you somewhere. All right. Next up, what is your biggest challenge as a grower? Oh. Okay, so if you don't know, the Three of Swords is, to me, one of the saddest cards. You know, the heart stabbed 3 times. This is your biggest challenge, which is letting go of pain. And kind of, like, to me, that makes sense. As someone who is always moving forward, very action-oriented, you're kind of not wanting to do that sit down and reflect on the why, because the why is connected to the hurt. The why is connected to everything that's happened. And so that's why it's the single most important aspect of your life right now. Because for you to go any further, this is kind of what needs to be focused on. Just sit down and know what stabbed you through the heart. And because I've struggled just with understanding, like, what does that mean to let go? To me, what I've learned that actually means is to let go of something and move on is accepting it. Not trying to fight or reason in your head about it anymore. When you can just say, okay, that happened. I may not be happy about it. I may not, whatever you may not have any positive emotions towards it. But then especially it's important to just accept it. Accept that sometimes in life we just fucked up things happen. And I'm so sorry. But you are in a spot right now where you're just kind of figuring out, like, did my broken heart cause me to make these choices? And because everything about your life is moving forward. And so if that is who you are, you're the grower, you're going. growing. You're not sitting where you're at. You're not staying there and kind of reflecting on what's hurting you. And I understand that. That's not comfortable. Forgiveness. People don't like hearing that. I do know that. People don't want to hear that they need to forgive people. But what I could see this as is actually, I think what this is you haven't received an apology from somebody. You haven't even been able to forgive them because they haven't asked for it. Do you know what I mean? So you're like, I want to forgive you. Because I don't think you need to ask for forgiveness from somebody. I think you're kind of like, wow, that person did something really awful to me, has not said sorry. And the way you can accept that is just knowing to not partake with that person in the future. So, because everything you do is about looking forward and becoming the best you. And I think you're finally learning you can't become the best you until you let that shit go. Revenge, the best revenge is you just succeeding. Just do well. And not in spite of this. Just let it go. So the next card is advice. So I love that the Valkyries is your advice, because it kind of says what I've been saying here. I'm going to read it from the book. It says, "You can win the battle you face. Let go of your inner restrictions and of others' expectations. Explore your wild self. Redemption is always available. Be the hero in your own life." That is the exact phrase I was trying to come up with, of be the hero in your own life. Kind of just come to this place where it's like, some people aren't going to ever try and atone for what happened. So just be the person for you that you always needed. Valkyries are so cool. They are they're kind of like the angels in the afterlife. They're kind of what are welcoming you, but they don't just welcome anybody. They welcome people who have gone through some severe battles in life and have overcome them. Like, Valkyries show up for the brave. Valkyries are, they're gorgeous, they're singing, they're ready to fight for you and bring you back safely. I think you're just needing to kind of go through a rebirth, because like, I just keep hearing like the energy is wild, in quotes from the book. Like, the energy of the Valkyries is wild. And I think somewhere else it was kind of saying that, or maybe I was, or this was, but this energy is kind of just pulling you down. And so I think it's time to find something exciting. I think tap into your inner child, like find out what it is that you need to feel alive again, to feel like ready to go, ready for battle, ready for anything that the world has to give you. Like, I see you just literally charging forward and just like knocking people out of the way. You have all the angels and spirit guides on your side. I think you're just kind of in a space right now of like, all right, what happened? What do I need to do to get rid of this? Because I think you are... Okay, so that was pretty crazy. I had finished the reading. I closed up shop and noticed my camera stopped recording. I was almost to the end. I pulled the other two cards, but I made sure I went back through kind of the last couple minutes to see what I was talking about, so it would kind of still sound relevant when I'm coming back through. So, you're charging forward because you like to look towards the future, but at this point in life, you're kind of needing to reflect on everything, why everything happened, and how to kind of avoid those things from, day to day and overall. I know you feel exhausted from this. The next two cards, so, like I said, I already pulled these, so I'm like, oh, the next two cards are perfect. They absolutely wrap this up so beautifully. That's why I was sad that it stopped recording. But Spirit speaks the truth, so regardless of what was lost, the same message will be coming through. So, if you could learn anything from the other two, what would it be? So, because you are the wands, I know that one's not for you, but it has the 10 of swords. So, what you can learn from the showers is kind of this, like, showers are confident, they take no bullshit, and they stand their ground. And so, growers are very much like going forward, and it's like, you may not be totally avoiding what's going on, but this is kind of saying to just stop. Because the 9 of Wands is like backstabbing and betrayal and like, or maybe that's the 10 of Swords. That's the 10 of Swords. The 9 of Wands actually literally says the war is over, the battle has been won, which is exactly what the Valkyries are all about. I think you've been in a real battle for a long, long time. And so you've just been running. I think you have a shower in your life that is like, hey, those people aren't good to you. Let go of it. I feel like I hope I'll say it again and not go too far into it, because I really hope I said it already. But the way to let go of something is just by accepting it. Accepting that people aren't always good. People don't always want your best intentions. But the showers want you to be courageous and not just run forward for safety, but run forward with clarity. And I think you'll have that if you're feeling more balanced. So I love how these were the cards that came in to really help support you, because it's just, it is saying slow down a little bit. Like, you need a little rest, not death rest, but like you've been going through something that may have emotionally killed you for a while. And so you're just ready to get back up. Like the 9 of Wands is like, you've done so much. And the showers want you to know that. They want you to know you've done so much. Be proud of that and stand behind that, and learn that just some people aren't good for you. So find a shower in your life who is here to help you stand tall. I don't think I said much more than that. I think that was the main point. And I think you are getting my main point. So pile 2. Thank you. That little hiccup was interesting, but because I have plenty of storage on my phone. So if you like this reading, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the reading resonated. And if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It has been an absolute honor and blessing every single time I get a new subscriber. And the comments are so wonderful, because I'm getting to know how the readings are resonating with you and where in your life. So thank you so much for being here. And I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me today. So we got the growers, showers, and farmers. Growers are all about moving forward. They're very go-getter. They are a very quick moving card. Showers are very confident and very strong intellectually. And they kind of don't need to move very quickly, because they are, their presence is just solid in what they're doing. And the farmers are the people who bring out the best in us. The farmers are the ones who are taking care of us and tending to our needs, and they're just awesome, strong, hard workers. So you chose the Ace of Spades, which is a shower. Go figure. So the showers, you are confident. You know what you're doing. And like I said, you don't have to move forward. You're not running at anything quickly, because you are so self-assured, and I love that. So let's find out more. First card was, what is the single most important aspect of your life right now? So the Tower reversed, usually upright, it's kind of like everything is like falling apart, but when it's reversed, it is a little bit more structured. It is still saying things are changing, but when it's reversed, it's kind of a little bit more controlled, a little bit slower. You aren't, but there is a major change coming into your life. And so what this is telling me, as somebody who is like really confident in themselves and like who they are and what they're doing, as a shower, you could be afraid of change. Like the shower energy is very like strong and secure, grounded. And the Tower is just saying like, hey, you can't be afraid of change. Things are going to happen. And so I think what's happening right now is you just have a lot going on. You may be in the middle of a move, or figuring out where to live or what to do with your life. You may be having kids come in. There's some huge restructure happening in your life that I I can very much understand, especially the shower is all about the way you think. So you are probably just flooded with thoughts. So flooded with so much thinking. And what this card is actually kind of saying is like, this is about a time to take risks. This is the time to jump from the burning building. Because you're either going to go down with the burning building or survive, have a chance at surviving. And that's kind of what's going on right now. Like, you can make a choice or it will be made for you, which is never my favorite message. But I'm really not saying this in a bad way. This is just life. What is that like super famous phrase? The only thing that doesn't change in life is change. The only thing we can expect is change, because change happens. It's always going to happen. And as that energy of someone who just is like, nope, we're here, we got this, and you feel clear mentally, that could be overwhelming. Any sort of change, you're like, I just got clear-headed. Because like maybe when you move around, like literally like dust kicks up in your head, and so it takes time for the dust to settle, and you're like, ugh. And all of a sudden everything's happening again. You're like, no, the dust, it's all swirling around. But you are going through a difficult time, and the Tower reverse just kind of says like, hold on to your hats and glasses and keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle, because you are moving. But it's okay. I have answers. This is not it's not going to be scary. I promise. I'll lift you up. What does being a shower help you in your day-to-day life? This is such a solid energy for you, and kind of what I'm envisioning of just that like solid standstill energy, because the Knight of Crystals is all about figuring out where you're going to go and being brave enough to do it, having no stress to get there. Like, the camel knows that it's about to venture off on a huge journey and cross the desert, so it fills up extra water in its body so that it can make the extra long journey. And I think that's kind of a quality you have as someone who is very confident in your intelligence and your choices. I feel like you make really smart choices like that. So even though there is a lot going on, I think you're making good choices regardless of how scary it could be. Shower energy to me is also totally open to going with the winds of change. Do you know what I mean? Like, the other ones are much more like grounded, like we're here. Well, like, I think the grower energy is actually moving so quickly it can't change its trajectory too quickly. Because of the shower energy, just very confident and standing there, like, changing your direction is so easy for you because you aren't going 100 miles an hour. You're like, no, I'm good. I see up ahead. You know, it's like someone who falls into a ditch because they were running so quickly that they just weren't looking. And someone going at your pace is like, there's a ditch. Let me go around. It's that sort of kind of like common sense that you have that shockingly people don't have. And that is what is so helpful for you in life. But I did ask, what is your biggest challenge as a shower? Wow, that is so crazy. The King of Swords. So this is like ultimate shower energy because when the card is in this position, basically it's kind of saying like, you're so smart. You know how to manipulate a situation just with words. Like, you know, if you say something to someone, it's going to set off an emotional reaction, which will cause them to go do something. And it's like, you barely had to do anything. You set off a whole chain of reactions just from knowing how the dominoes will fall. So that's a challenge because, first of all, we're not supposed to play God. We aren't supposed to manipulate other people's lives and their choices that they're making, even if we think we know better. And if it's just to benefit you, then definitely that is not good. But I'm not getting a, what's the word? Malicious. I'm not getting any sort of malicious energy. This is just somebody who is very intelligent and very strong in what they know. Like I said, like, it's like you're the camel crossing the desert, and you're halfway there, and you have all the water stored up in your body, and you're coming across other camels who didn't store up water, and you're like, oh, well, that was a choice, and you made it. Like, it's just not a warm energy, but I am not somebody who thinks you need to be warm and kind and gentle to everybody in the world. Everybody doesn't deserve that, truthfully. That's such a sword energy. That's such a shower energy. Because I don't actually believe that. I believe even the like most fucked up of people deserve kindness, because somewhere along the way they can or will reflect on it, even if it's in the afterlife. So this is your biggest challenge. I'm very curious what's going on. Like, you have the reverse tower. So like, this is obviously, life is changing. And oh, right. Like I described it like the dust, because the reverse King of Swords is basically saying like, you're kind of struggling with mental clarity. And that's because everything's moving. The dust is flying up and settling, and you are waiting for everything to settle. And so like the Knight of Crystals energy is, yeah, you're someone though who is, you're trekking through the sandstorm. You can't see. Everyone's like, oh, I'm just going to wait for it to end. And you're like, I don't know when it's going to end, but I've prepared the water, and I know where I want to go. And I know if I just keep going, I'll get there. And now I'll especially get there before you guys, because this sandstorm is slowing you down. So even in times of mental fog, I feel like you still have this endurance and determination to get through. All right, but next I asked for some advice. Oh yeah, for sure. So whenever I get this card, this one's just kind of saying to honestly lighten up. Just take things a little bit lighter. Just enjoy things a little bit more. Laugh a little bit more. Have fun. Like, play pranks on your friends. Like, and not mean ones. Oh my God, I do not like when someone plays a prank and it's mean. Like, I like fun pranks, just silly, harmless, just to make everyone giggle. Like, those sort of things. Because I think when you're having fun, you're not going to be as stressed. And when you're not as stressed, you're going to speak nicer to people. When you don't have this underlying stress in your belly, you're able to give kindness and love a lot more. Because Loki also talks about needing a clear, develop your gifts of oration and clear speech. So with the mental fog and everything right now, yeah, it could be really hard to explain to people how you're feeling. Like, I kind of see like you just getting upset and being like, I don't know what's wrong. You're emotionally eating or, chain smoking or something like that, like to keep up with the stress. Because shower energy is surprisingly stressful, surprisingly like, because it's such a confident energy, but I'm seeing that even confident energy comes with challenges, because it's like when you're confident, then the universe knows it can throw more at you. And I just feel like you're like, just batting away these like fly balls that keep coming your way because you're good at the sport. And you're like, can I take a break? So I think you just need to find times to laugh a little bit more, because I definitely sense that there's a high level of stress. Oh, yes, yeah. Okay. So the question I asked was, what if you could learn something from one of the other two, what would it be? So, because you are the shower Schwartz, this is the Wand's energy. So the Wand's energy is kind of just saying to move forward and kind of like, yeah, there, I didn't really kind of gather that before, but I guess that would make sense that there is something very emotional that you are being urged to move on from. You know, Six of Swords is like that like having to escape and leave, kind of a regretful but necessary decision. And that's what kind of keeps coming up, is like there's a tough decision you really have to make, but it's going to be extremely beneficial, and it's requiring you to defend yourself and be ready to disarm the fight. Like, you have the Queen of Swords here, which is, you know, the partner to the King of Swords. And I think having the Six of Wands here, to me, this is just saying, like, the grower energy is just like, they've had to learn how to encourage themselves to keep going so much that they're actually really good at it now. And it's like, you've just always been there. You've always been strong. And turns out that really makes certain situations actually harder for you, because you're not in this constant state of challenge. And so the Six of Wands, your grower energy is just like, enjoy life. Like, literally, that's what I'm hearing. It's just like, enjoy life. Like, yeah, we're gonna be in battle and we're gonna be doing things. It's like, but sometimes we just have to put our weapons down and know that all we have is our present moment. And so I think you might need a grower energy in your life. Somebody who's just kind of about not hanging on to the bull crap. Like, I feel like you kind of hang on to the bull crap a lot because what has hurt you has affected you greatly. And I feel like that has made you a very intelligent, street smart person. But nobody ever wants to get smart from being hurt. And so I think it's just time to kind of also reflect on your strengths, what you've accomplished, what you've succeeded at. And know that, yes, change is happening and it's scary. But in this position, like, nothing is going to be too awful. You're going to avoid disaster, basically. Even though change is happening, nothing is going to destroy your world. So I think the grower energy is just kind of like, I just hear this like very uplifting, like perky voice, like, come on, let's go. And, this pile has a very strong, sturdy energy. And so, what else? I think that's all, showers. I think you guys just kind of need to relax a little. Cheese out. Just have some fun. Life is too short. And that is definitely advice from people who've lived a long life of just enjoy more, laugh more, love more, hug more. So find a grower who can really share that energy with you of just excitement and moving forward, and knowing that, like, yes, shit hurts. Yes, it is really hard to get out of your head because of it. Yes, every time life changes, you feel like everything's turning upside down, but do not forget of how prepared and talented you are. You are extremely skilled and knowledgeable. you can honestly, like, the Six of Wands is the victory, like, succeeded. Everyone is cheering for you. So don't forget that you've actually come so far and overcome so much. You know, it's like the camel who finally reaches its destination. It's like you're so worn out right now, you don't even want to talk to anybody, but you just made it across the desert. So many people have never made it across. So that's where this is at. Pal 3. Thank you so much for joining me. I absolutely love getting to channel your energy. If you like this message, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the reading resonated. And if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It has been such an honor every time. I got 250 subscribers. Like, literally, this has been crazy. I started just a few months ago, and so my message getting out there and sharing with you guys is just the most valuable and great thing. So thank you for joining me. I hope to see you in future readings. Have a great day. Bye.